This episode we're looking at the history of another Transformer name that's been used for some very different characters. From Autobot Lion to Decepticon Wolf. These are the basics on STEELJAW. The original STEELJAW toy was first released in 1986. He was one of the line's many mini cassette figures, transforming from microcassette tape to robotic lion. STEELJAW was designed to fit inside the Autobot boombox Blaster and was sold in a 2-pack with fellow cassette Rewind. A profile for STEELJAW was written by Marvel Comics writer Bob Budiansky, who characterized him as a determined tracker named after his powerful bite. Confident and professional, STEELJAW's incredible sense of smell allowed him to hunt down prey by scent alone, and he even enjoyed sniffing out unusual or intriguing smells in his downtime. As with all the animal form cassette transformers, Budiansky described STEELJAW as an intelligent robot like any other Cybertronian. But the vast majority of STEELJAW's media appearances over the years have chosen instead to depict him more like an actual animal, unable to speak and subservient to his master, Blaster. At one point, it was planned for STEELJAW to debut in the second season of the Transformers cartoon, ahead of his toy's release, joining Blaster and his fellow cassettes in battling their Decepticon counterparts, Soundwave, and his cassettes in the 1985 episode Autobop. But these plans fell through, and instead, STEELJAW made his first animated appearance in the 1986 Japanese original direct-to-video special Scramble City, defending an Autobot construction site against the Decepticon tapes. Western audiences were introduced to the character a few months later in The Transformers the Movie, in which STEELJAW and his cassette comrades fended off an attack by Soundwave's minions on Autobot City's communications tower. STEELJAW continued to appear in the subsequent third season of the cartoon, in adventures that saw him sniff out the trail of the lost Daniel Witwicky, pursue an incriminating journal belonging to the alien Quintessons, and team up with other animal transformers to battle the energy beast, Tornadron. In 1987, in the Japanese market, STEELJAW's toy came packaged with Blaster's new Japanese-exclusive upgraded form, Twincast. This earned him further appearances in the Japanese original sequel cartoon, The Headmasters, which reworked the character a little, depicting him as an intelligent robot capable of speech, and casting him in the role of spy and information gatherer for Twincast, just like the Decepticon tapes were for Soundwave. Back in Hasbro markets, meanwhile, the STEELJAW and Rewind 2-pack remained on sale until 1989. Yet STEELJAW never appeared in the American Transformers comic book published by Marvel. He did, however, feature in a story exclusive to the British version of the comic, in which he helped Hot Rod retake Autobot City after it was invaded by the Quintessons. He would eventually make his US comic debut in 1993 in a crossover story in an issue of G.I. Joe, but with his toy having long since been discontinued, his role was a short-lived one. He was part of a team of Autobots sent to Earth to engage Megatron, and was killed when the Decepticon leader blew him to bits. Never a major character, STEELJAW has rarely made anything more than cameo appearances in Transformers media in the 21st century. Notable new incarnations of the character have included the one seen in Transformers Animated, who was a pet belonging to the Autobot pop star Rosanna, an evil version from the mirror universe of Shattered Glass, who instead of a professional hunter was more like a lazy house cat who slept all day, and one from the world of the Fall of Cybertron video game, who turned into a Cybertronian data disk and came packaged with Blaster in the Transformers Generations line in 2013. To date, the only new toy of STEELJAW since the original. However, the name STEELJAW has also been applied to multiple new characters largely unrelated to the original, as a way for Hasbro to keep their trademark on it active. During the development of the 2011 live-action movie Dark of the Moon, A robotic pit bull named STEELJAW was designed as a pet for the Autobot wrecker, Leadfoot. Now, he didn't make it into the film itself, but toys of this STEELJAW were released as accessories with figures of Leadfoot, one in the Dark of the Moon toy line that transformed into a blaster for his master, and another in the Studio Series line in 2020. However, this wouldn't be the only character named STEELJAW in the movie universe. In the 2014 film, Age of Extinction, the bounty hunter Lockdown had a pack of biomechanical wolves at his command, and when a toy of one of these creatures was released, it too was given the name STEELJAW. But by far the most significant new bot to bear the name STEELJAW was the Decepticon, who starred as the primary antagonist of 2015's Robots in Disguise. Transforming from a werewolf-like robot to an off-road vehicle, he was a cunning and charismatic bot, able to manipulate others into joining his cause with a charming, soft-spoken demeanour that masked his predatory, self-serving intentions. Arrested for inciting rebellion on Autobot-controlled Cybertron, STEELJAW was incarcerated aboard the prison ship Alcamore, but escaped when the vessel crashed on Earth. Setting out to take over the planet and turn it into a new homeworld for the Decepticons, STEELJAW rounded up other escapees to form a team he called his Pack, but they faced opposition from Bumblebee and his squad of Autobots. Following various unsuccessful plots, including a failed alliance with the fallen Prime Megatronus, and the attempted exploitation and double-cross of another gang of Alcamore escapees, STEELJAW was eventually captured and returned to Cybertron. But it transpired that the planet's ruling council had secretly been infiltrated and replaced by Decepticons, who freed him and sent him back to Earth to take out Bumblebee's team and pave the way for their invasion of the planet. Not wanting the council to have the world that he had worked so hard to conquer for himself, STEELJAW instead allied with Bumblebee's team to help take the council down. And the series ended with STEELJAW still at large, still pursuing his dream of claiming Earth for his own. With multiple toys in the Robots in Disguise line, STEELJAW was one of the series' biggest new breakout characters, and he's gone on to make appearances in other series, including Beast Wars Uprising and IDW Publishing's comic books. The Japanese toy line, Transformers Adventure, introduced his brother, Phantom Jaw, while IDW debuted his sister, Sharpclaw, an original character created by longtime Transformers writer-artist Nick Roach's daughter. Most recently, in 2022, STEELJAW and Sharpclaw appeared together in IDW's Last Bot Standing, a miniseries by Roach set eons in the future, at the very end of the dying universe, in which STEELJAW was the leader of a nomadic band of the last remaining Transformers. Without Energon to power them, they had taken to killing and processing organic beings into biofuel to survive, until they stumbled across the aged Rodimus, who put an end to them and their grisly work. It may be a little too early to tell, but it feels like Robots in Disguise STEELJAW has accomplished the rare task of becoming better known than the Generation 1 character with whom the name originated. G1 STEELJAW has made almost no appearances worth mentioning since RID STEELJAW took the stage. His biggest role was when his dead body showed up for a few seconds in Netflix's War for Cybertron cartoon, used by the Decepticons to lure the Autobots into a trap. Highlighting the character's low standing, there have even been toys like 2016's Titans Return Stripes and 2017's Masterpiece Night Stalker that were based on the original STEELJAW, but which have never actually been released in his colours. But what better contenders could there be to compete over the name STEELJAW than a pair of bots who fight like cats and dogs? And those are the basics on STEELJAW. Tell me if you prefer the wolf or the lion in the comments. Like and subscribe for more like this about characters and stories from all across Transformers history, and if you support the show on Patreon, you'll get early access to new episodes.